Apple released new iPads in the middle of May, and we recently posted our review of the M4 iPad Pro. And if you want to check that out, you can click the card here in the upper right-hand corner. Now it's time to focus our attention on the new M2 iPad Air that was released right alongside those M4 iPad Pros. Now, is this iPad the one for everyone? Probably not. I think the newly reduced in price 10th gen is the one that everyone should get if they just want a solid iPad to do iPad things. Now, the Air is definitely that next step up where you might actually use this as a computer replacement. Maybe you don't want to spend thousands on a laptop, but you need something a little bit bigger than your iPhone to get some more work done, a little more power underneath the hood. Now, for this review, I've been focusing solely on the 13-inch iPad Air, but there is an 11-inch model if you don't want something this large. Personally, I enjoy the larger iPads. I have rarely ever used a tablet without the need or want a Magic Keyboard like this, or any kind of keyboard, or some sort of dock when watching content or working. I don't typically hold my tablets and use them in that way, at least not anymore, especially the 13-inch iPads. These are too big for me to use comfortably in the hand, so I almost always, again, dock it or put it on a Magic Keyboard, which to me go hand in hand. It's the 13-inch iPad Pro or Air and some sort of keyboard case. I like Apple's first-party options, but there are plenty of other third-party options available that are pretty good, and so I'll try to leave some linked in the description down below. The iPad Air, this starts at $599 for the 11-inch. This specific one starts at $799, again, for the 13-inch model. And I genuinely mean this when I say you can pretty much do whatever you want on this iPad that one would do on probably a Pro, and performance would feel most likely the same. The iPad Air is running the M2 chip, which was just in the iPad Pro up until Apple just recently refreshed it and decided to skip the M3 and go straight to M4. This is technically one less GPU core than that iPad Pro, but that's not something I noticed during testing. So I've been using the M2 iPad Pro up until this point for about 2 years, and I never once thought, boy, do I wish this had more performance. It's been rock solid, and that definitely carries over to the iPad Air. Again, one less GPU core, but I'm not noticing anything. No issues with performance for work or gaming. It is very powerful. Honestly, my thoughts on this device is that it just feels like the 12.9-inch iPad Pro from 2022 that I've been using for those last 2 years, but with a worse display, no ProMotion, no mini LED, and there are some other differences though, but not all of them are downgrades. For starters, the FaceTime camera was in portrait, and now it's been moved to the landscape edge on this iPad. And this is an excellent move that was much needed. Now FaceTime calls no longer feel weird or look off to the other person. It actually feels like you're looking at them and you're not, looking off to the right or left of the iPad. And I really do enjoy that. One thing to note here is that unlike the iPad Pro, you don't have a true depth camera system for Face ID, so you'll need to use the fingerprint sensor that's hidden on the power button. It's fine. I don't mind it, but it is something worth mentioning here if you really like Face ID and you don't want to use a fingerprint sensor. Also, the USB-C port is just that. It's a USB-C port, no Thunderbolt here. Those are only on the Pros, so it's just a regular USB-C port for charging. Now, I mentioned the Magic Keyboard being my go-to choice here, but unfortunately, this new iPad Air only supports the last gen Magic Keyboard model. So you've still got the plastic, the smaller trackpad that physically clicks in. Yeah, I really like the one that comes with the new M4, but this is still very good. I would still choose this over any of the third-party options. Not to say those are bad, I just like Apple's Magic Keyboard. But I really wish that you could use the M4 Magic Keyboard because it is really good. The new Apple Pencil Pro, however, is compatible with the iPad Air, which is nice. Or you can use the USB-C Apple Pencil if you don't want to spend a lot of money. I don't typically use an Apple Pencil outside of when a new one is released and I'm reviewing it. I don't really take notes or draw, and so it kind of just sits in my bag or my drawer, and I want to use it for something, but realistically, I don't. So with that said, if you are a huge Apple Pencil lover, the Pro does pack a few more features like haptic feedback, a new squeeze gesture that brings up menus within an app for quick actions or functions, and you can even do a barrel roll in some apps if you wanted to, making it far more realistic for those graphic designers and illustrators out there who want those types of things. And there's also Find My support just in case you happen to misplace your pencil. So yeah, from a performance standpoint, and look standpoint, it really does just seem like that older M2 iPad Pro with a few features missing and a few different things that might make it better. But I think when it comes to actually just daily driving this iPad, most people can use this as a home computer replacement or even an on-the-go work device. Maybe you're in real estate and or in housing inspections and you take this as your work computer because it's, got touch input and it's more portable. You won't notice a difference in performance. If you want a better OLED display, Face ID, Thunderbolt, the new Magic Keyboard to be compatible, I guess this is probably not the iPad for you and you'd want to go up to that iPad Pro. But for everything else, honestly, I think you'll be just fine with the M2 iPad Air, and you can save yourself thousands in the meantime. And so, of course, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Are you picking up one of these Airs? What are you using it for? I'd love to hear your workflows. Go ahead and let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.